It is so good to see you. I said when we walked in the room, I was like, come on, Boots.
Oh,
like,
yes, thank you very much.
The look. I mean, you
thanks.
nail a look. Are you having so much fun with fashion these days?
I am. These days, all days. I really love fashion. I love getting dressed. I love to play dress up when I was a little girl, and now I get to do it with fantastic people and get to wear fantastic brands, and yeah, it's fun for me.
And fantastic costumes.
Yes.
Your costumes in this movie are so badass.
Thanks.
Tell me what it was like though the first time that y'all all saw Natalie Portman come out as Mighty Thor.
I mean, it was incredible. She was working so hard on sort of getting in Mighty Thor shape.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, she's been in these movies before, but not as a superhero, and so I think that transition was just really fun to get to see her in this new space. And there's always, I mean, I remember from doing Thor Ragnarok, there's like just things that you learn in doing superhero movies with just like the cape and the wind and the thing, and it's just, she was so great and fantastic at it from jump. But she
said that you were actually like a guide for her. She relied on you, and Chris in particular, but that she relied on you pretty heavily because you had done this and you were so giving with the process.
Yeah, well, it was really fun. I mean, I remember again on Ragnarok, like I was like about a month in, and I would like trip on my cape, and they'd have these big fans, and it would get like caught on my sword, and it was a whole thing. And then finally Chris was like, you know, you can just use a short cape. And I was like, a what? Use just a short one, and they make it long in post-production. And I was so used to making much smaller movies where you don't do that.
Right, you
show up with the cape, you know, exactly. And so it's those sort of things where you're like, oh, right, okay.
I love that, Chris. I love that he let you suffer for a little while first.
Yeah, he did.
He's like,
well, it's like par for the course.
Yeah,
you're like, you have to like get hit in the face with your own cape a couple times. Yeah.
Good Lord. It's a lot of this movie is a lot of fun. We talked about the heart of it, the real love letter to fatherhood. Right? Also the messages about loss and about personal choice.
Yeah.
What are you hoping, I mean, especially as I think about these women who front this movie in particular, the women that front this movie, what are you hoping that young people take away from this?
Oh, goodness. I mean, I think so many of the things that you talk about, one theme in the movie is this idea of keeping your heart open, even and especially when you've been hurt or when you've suffered loss. And I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to. Yeah. And so I think a lot of adult people can relate to that. Yeah. And also, you know, in a movie that wants to talk about love, I think there are lots of different kinds of love that are expressed and spoken about in this film. And that's something that I think is really special and kind of rare, actually. Usually a film will kind of talk about a one kind of love, and in this movie I think there's all sorts. So I hope that people also just leave feeling good. I think the movie feels hopeful to me, and it's a good time to have something that just feels good.
The Rock Love, known as Dwayne.
Oh, that.
Oh my God, it was so good. That's all I want to say.
Yes.
So we don't give anything away.
Yes.
Speaking of love, it was so good. The mustache, it took me out.
Yeah, that was good.
Would you be down, I'm going to put you on the spot. Would you be down for an all-female cast Marvel movie?
I mean, yeah, I think I've spoken about this in the press a lot, actually. I think I've advocated for this.
Who would you want to be, if you could cast it right now?
But every woman in the MCU.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every woman in the MCU. And also women that we haven't yet seen in the MCU. Like, I would love to see all kinds of women, not just cis women. Like, let's get all kinds of women in MCU films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Badass. And so what do you think, is there a block? Not necessarily a block, but is there something that you think that we just haven't reached that point yet, or?
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't think there's a block necessarily. I think that sometimes there's this idea, when we make these very gendered spaces, I think the idea is just to come up with a great concept and have a bunch of actors that also happen to be women, people that universe. And sometimes I think there's this idea that should be this noteworthy thing, and the truth is I think we need to get to a place where it's done often enough that it's just normalized. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Natalie Portman and I first met making a film called Annihilation, which was an all-female cast. And
unreal movie, by the way.
Thank you so much. But we were talking while we were making that movie about how rare it is, because typically we're like one of the only women on set. And so to rejoin in this movie, it's fantastic, and I'm happy to talk about it, and I feel really proud to like get to top line a movie like this with Natalie. But I would love in some time for it not to be like, wow, 2 strong women in a movie. Like, no one says that about Chris and Christian Bale and Russell Crowe. No one's like, and Taika, no one's like, wow, 4 men in a movie, because it happens, frankly, all the time. So I would just love for it not to be a thing we always have to talk about, because it's just done more often, frankly.
It's so real. It's so true. And like, just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Like, let's just do it.
Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I asked Natalie about what she did to get in Mighty Thor shape. Like what was her regimen, right?
Yeah.
Because Chris told me that you guys had the gym on location.
We did.
And that y'all would actually the 4 of you would all kind of end up in the gym together at points. Was there like a push-up off? Was there a pull-up off? Was there a moment where it was like, no, I got more push-ups than Chris Hemsworth? Did anybody ever say that?
No one ever said that, but you know what? Actually, surprisingly, no one ever said that, but I will, surprisingly, Chris doesn't do push-ups. Like, I've never
so
actually...
I've been doing this whole thing wrong?
I'm not really sure I've seen Chris do a push-up.
What?
I don't think he does. He does he does weights, but I don't know that I've seen him do a push-up. Like, next time you see him, ask him. I don't even know if he can.
Firing my trainer.
I don't even know if he can do a good push-up, because a push-up is so much body weight. He's like a large human.
That's the graphic now, and the hashtag Tessa Thompson doesn't know if Chris Hemsworth can even do a push-up.
I've never seen it personally. I've seen him do a lot of things. I've never seen him do a push-up, but I've seen his wife Elsa do push-ups in that very gym, and a lot of them, and pull-ups. I've never seen him do either of those things, so I'm not sure if he can.
So the question,
or if he does them well.
The question really is, are they even his muscles?
They are. I can attest to that.
Okay.
They can do a lot of movie magic, but he does. The muscles they come with. It's included in the package.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
The arm.
It's as big as my head. It's bigger than my head.
Literally.
No, I have actually put my head. I have measured it against my head, and I do think it's bigger than my head.
Bigger than. Jeez, and no push-up. Not a push-up.
No.
Wow. Okay, well, I guess I've been doing this wrong.